Okay, so we were taking up government budgeting and we were taking up budget. So we have discussed budget. Budget is a statement of receipts and expenditures of government, or estimated actually. Okay, and we have discussed like why budget actually was preponed. One reform we have discussed, and as we have discussed, budget is compulsory as per law, as per the constitution, as per Article 112. Why it has been made compulsory? So now next we'll discuss rationale of presentation of budget. Rationale of budget or presentation of budget. So what is rationale? So what is reason why budget is actually made compulsory in constitution? So you know what will be benefit of budget? Before accountability there will be one more thing. First is transparency. So transparency in government finances. Transparency in government/public finances. Actually, when we say government finance, we mean public finance. In public finances. So when we will use the word public in this chapter, it means government only. Public finance means, and actually there is one branch of economics called public finance. So budgeting, taxation is a part of public finance. That is one branch of economics. So transparency, because people will know how much government money, how much money will be received by government through various sources, like through tax revenue, through profit of PSUs, through sale of assets, through borrowings, and how much money to be spent on each and every program and project. So government has to give detail of each and every money or rupee spent. So public will know about the finances of government. And you know, whenever money is allocated for any purpose, any ministry, so there must be some objectives or not. So can we assess the performance also? If this much money was allotted, you demanded this much money, you have this objectives, have you achieved those objectives or not? So government or ministries can be held accountable. So mention is other is to ensure accountability of government. To ensure accountability of government. So accountability, or even we can say financial accountability of government, to ensure financial accountability of the government. The government will become accountable or financially accountable. Like any minister has to give means justification if objective is achieved or not, has to give answer whether achieved or not, and if not achieved, why not achieved, on what basis you planned this scheme. Other thing is that as I told you, if there will not be budget, government may give money to various ministers. Okay, you will take this money. Then minister will think what we should do now. So would it lead to wastage of time or not? So budget ensures what? Advanced planning. So that, and there is discussion, etc. And once before commencement of financial year, there are deliberations, etc. And finally it is finalized, and then government can start immediately program. Otherwise, then minister will think what we should do now. We have got this money now, so what we should do. So it will lead to actually without actually proper planning, that would not be desirable to use resources. So mention that it ensures advanced planning. It ensures advanced planning. Means government plans in advance because you know, whenever a ministry will create demand for grant, ministry has to actually has to do some brainstorming, has to do some analysis, because minister has to be ready to answer any question, because any MP can ask question regarding the efficacy of the project, its previous track record, or the why it is desirable or why not. So ministry has to actually explore all options, have to do brainstorming analysis before putting demand, and then that is discussed in parliament to advance planning. Other thing is that in constitution there are actually three important organs of government. There are three important organs are there, and in constitution there are actually system of checks and balances among the three organs, like judiciary, executive and legislature. So there are checks and balances. So can we say budget is one among them? How? So it actually exercise, government or executive cannot withdraw money from consolidated fund without approval of legislature. So it ensures actually, and then in accountability of financial control of legislature over executive. So next point we mention, it ensures financial control. It ensures financial control of legislature. Financial control of legislature over the executive. financial control of legislature over the executive. So financial control of legislature over the executive. So this is one among the actually instruments of checks and balances in three organs of government. So these are the means objectives of presenting budget or rationale. So in view of these things, do you think can democracy function properly without these things? If government will not be accountable, people may not be knowing what government is doing. So means like in financially how much government is receiving money, spending money. So democracy cannot function properly. So is it important or not? That is the reason it has been made compulsory in constitution. Confidence means mainly government will be accountable relating to this thing. Okay, other is now we'll discuss objectives. Of budget / fiscal policy. Objectives of budget or fiscal policy. The objectives of budget or fiscal policy. So we have discussed like monetary policy earlier. So monetary policy, what are objectives of monetary policy? Like inflation control means price stability, economic growth, employment, poverty alleviation, exchange rate stability, etc. So can we say another general developmental objective? Can we say objective of fiscal policy will be somewhat similar or entirely different? Somewhat similar, because can we say that objectives of all government policies is overall socio-economic development? Yes, but one policy may be more effective in achieving one objective as compared to other. Like for example, for price stability, which is policy is more effective, fiscal or monetary? Monetary. So that is why prime objective of monetary policy is actually price stability. So fiscal policy is more effective in achieving which objective? Objectives are similar. So which is? So can we say reducing inequality? Which policy will be more effective? Fiscal policy or monetary policy? Fiscal policy, because government can directly reduce inequality. How? Government may collect money from rich in the form of taxes and directly transfer to poor people in the form of subsidy welfare payments. But monetary policy can be so effective. No, bank may give credit to poor people, but it will not reduce inequality immediately. Or banking facilities may be provided to poor people like in financial inclusion, but it will not immediately have a direct immediate impact on reduction in inequality. But here government can directly transfer money from rich to poor. Through taxes government may collect, and to poor in welfare payment government will provide. So one objective is redistribution of income. Redistribution of income. So redistribution of income means income, or even we can call it national income. So it means that reducing inequalities, or to reduce inequality. So redistribution of income means reducing inequalities. So fiscal policy is very effective in this. Other objective is resource allocation. Resource allocation as per national priorities. Resource allocation as per national priorities. How fiscal policy can affect resource allocation? Like example, what is meaning of resource allocation? Earlier I told you in simple words meaning of resource allocation. In simple words, resource allocation. In very simple words. Resource allocation means what to produce and what quantity. If we produce more of something, it means that we are allocating more resources for that. So resource allocation means what to produce and in what quantity. So fiscal policy can affect this. What we shall produce. Production could be regulated. Yes, for example, government want to encourage production of something, then government may give tax rebates or may provide subsidies or any other support actually through government expenditure. And if government want to discourage me, higher taxes may be imposed. So fiscal policy can also affect allocation of resources, means what to produce and what not to produce. Other objectives are general, like employment generation. Employment generation. How? For example, through Manrega, directly government make allocation for employment generation programs and other schemes for infrastructure which may create jobs also. Other is like promote economic growth, to promote economic growth. promote economic growth, and etc. So others are general. So fiscal policy can stimulate economic growth, like fiscal stimulus was given earlier and now also, like government reduced tax rates to encourage investment in the economy. Okay, so it may help in promoting growth also. Okay, so these are actually objectives of fiscal policy. Just like we have discussed objectives of monetary policy, so these are important objectives of fiscal policy. Others are common. Okay, so we have discussed budget and rationale and objectives. Now, types of budgets. Types of budget, or even actually these are budgeting process, or even we can say budgets or budgeting process. Budgets or types of budgeting process. One is zero based budget. ZBB. Zero based budget. This concept was given by Peter Payer. Peter Payer gave this concept. So any idea what is zero based budget? Presenting new budget, so everywhere there is a new budget. Zero budget means, zero base means it is assumed that there was no budget in the past. It is assumed that there was no budget. So why it is assumed? What is reason for assuming this thing that there was no budget in the past? Reason is that every ministry has to justify expenditure on every project on the basis of current situation, why it is best. It cannot say we have planned only last year, we have given explanation last year, because last year it may be relevant, now situation might change, it may not be relevant now. So zero base means every year from scratch ministry have to justify why we have actually selected this program, why it is better than others. And so they cannot say we have already planned last few years back, or this plan, this is actually last year we have given justification. No, every year fresh justification has to be given. To mention this thing, under ZBB, ministries have to justify expenditure on every project on the basis of cost benefit / comparative analysis. On the basis of cost benefit / comparative analysis. Annually afresh. On the basis of cost benefit / comparative analysis, annually afresh. Annually afresh means from scratch they have to explain, annually afresh. And also mention, it is assumed that there was no budget in the past. It is assumed that there was no budget in the past. That is, it is assumed that there was no budget in the past, that is no consideration is given to previous programs, no consideration is given to previous programs, expenditures, etc. Okay, I'll explain. First of all, I told you this here second part is that very simple. It is assumed no budget was there in the past. It means that no actually consideration to previous plan, program or expenditure, etc. So if there is no budget, what does it mean? Then it means every ministry has to justify expenditure on every project on the basis of its merit on the basis of cost benefit analysis or merit. For example, ministry is demanding money for midday meal scheme. Okay, so ministry actually has to justify why it is best program to achieve this objective on the basis of cost benefit analysis and comparative analysis. Why it is best program now. So every ministry has to justify expenditure on every project on the basis of its cost benefit analysis or comparative analysis. Annually afresh means from scratch. Okay, now the objective is to enhance, improve, enrollment of children. Okay, this is the main to improve nutritional outcomes also in school by providing lunch. Now to achieve this objective, there could be other possibilities or not. Like, so why it is best? Why it is better than others? So we have to see what are other alternatives. So other program may be ABC program. Now to enhance retention of students, maybe cash may be given to students. So that may all be an attraction. A student will get cash. Okay, they can have anything, then they can buy from shop, anything they can buy. Other option could be X, Y, Z. Like under this X, Y, Z option, like conveyance may be provided to children, or maybe parents may be rewarded if they are sending their children to school. Like this could be possibilities. So they will see pros and cons, cost benefit analysis. Now if we invest this much in this, so these are pros and cons, these are the cost benefit analysis, and comparative analysis will be made. So they have to justify why it is best. Best means what are other possible alternatives and why it is better than other alternatives. So this justification has to be given every year. And the ministry cannot say, can they say we have already justified last year? No. Can they say we have already invested 100 crore rupees, so give us 10 crore rupees for this year? Can they say this thing? Should it be a justification? No, it should not be a justification. Why? Because let's suppose if this program is not desirable, it is not effective. If you have dumped this money, will it means justify dumping more money? No. So this should also not be justification. So it means that every year, whenever a ministry will create demand for funds for any program, it has to give justification. Means it has to give idea what is this program, what are other possibilities, and why it is better than other possibilities. This is the means has to be given. And why it is to be given? Because we are assuming no base was there, no budget was there. You cannot say last year we have explained. This is the concept here. So and this concept was introduced. It was adopted in India in 1987. So it was adopted in 1987. So since then, whenever any ministry demand funds, it has to give justification for every project. Zero base means there was no base, no budget in the past. It is assumed this is the first budget. So whatever program you are initiating, we will assume this is new program. So why you have initiated this program? You have to give, ministry has to give justification. In Manrega, every year ministry you have to give justification. This is the condition, this is the situation now, we have this, we are initiating this program, these could be the alternatives and why it is better than alternatives. Every year this has to be done. Okay, other is performance budget. Performance budget. It may be called performance and program budget. Performance and program budget. So under this, when ministry will create demand for grants, it has to give some information, why it need money, objectives, the programs it is going to spend, and how it will be held accountable for its performance. So some information has to be given. To mention this thing, under this, ministries have to specify the following. Ministries have to specify the following along with their demand for grants. Along with their demand for grants. Along with their demand for grants. So what ministries have to justify? A is that quantitative objectives. quantitative objectives. Means it should not be like we have to means like HRD ministry cannot say we have to increase enrollment or we have to establish some new schools, or they have to give number. Okay, how many more enrollments, how much more school, how much literacy rate you will increase. So quantitative, so that proper assessment could be made. Other is actually details of programs. Details of programs. So how you will achieve this program? The ministry has to give details of programs, like what programs, which programs you will implement, how much allocation you will make to achieve this objective, what will be objectives of each program, so that overall you will achieve this objective. So information detail of these programs. And other is criteria. Criteria for assessment of performance. Criteria for assessment of performance. So on what actually parameters or criteria this ministry will be held accountable, so that ministry should be held accountable for its performance. Okay, so means in this when ministry will create demand for grants, it will actually give this information, give why it need funds and how it is going to what object is quantitative, and how it is going to achieve missing programs, entire details of programs, features of program, money to be spent, and overall, and at the end of the year, how this ministry will be held accountable for the performance. The performance parameters will be decided, so that ministry will be held accountable. So that is why it is called performance budget. Means focus on performance and program. It has to give list of programs and performance. And this was adopted in India in 1969. So since then, means when this is adopted, means when ministries will create demand for grants, they have to provide this information in the form of supplementary documents. So ministries actually provide this information when they create demand for grants. They provide this information in supplementary documents. Okay, so they have to provide this information in supplementary documents about this information. So which one is broader out of these two? Performance budget is broader. So can we say, if we have performance budget, do we need ZBB? Yes or no? If this is broader, why we need this then? If this is broader, then why we need this one? No, there is full details are there, like how much money you are spending, features of the scheme, objectives of the scheme are there in this. So do we need this ZBB or not?
Sir, we don't just need to know the performance, but also the justification, sir. So that's why we need both of these things.
Justification means you mean to say something is missing in this performance budget? Which thing is missing? Yes, you are correct actually. What is missing? Why is missing? Why this program? Means what is there? Okay, this much allocation we have made, these are features, these are actually objectives, but why we have selected this program? What could be the other possible alternative? That is not there. Why we have selected? Reason for selection of this program is not there. Reason is given in this one. So that is the reason, we already had this from 69, and in 1987 we adopted a zero based budget. So we have both, and then, but there was one problem in this performance budget. Practically it remained confined to this program budget. Means evaluation never took place. Reason was that evaluation of performance will be made after financial year, and when financial year is over, like that assessment could be made in after March, that is in April or May. In April, Parliament used to be busy in the budget for next year, and even time was usually short for actually next year's budget. So what happened, Parliament was busy in taking next year budget, so performance evaluation never took place. So this remained on papers only. So at the most, CAG will check you have spent the money as per this details or not, but so it remained confined to program budget rather than performance budget. So evaluation actually was never done. This was the problem. To overcome this problem, government actually introduced a reformed version of this. What is that? In 2005? That is actually outcome budget. The reform version of this is outcome budget. Okay, to mention this thing, it is It is a reformed version. It is a reformed version of a performance budget. Reformed version of a performance budget under which annual targets of each program are subdivided into quantitative slash monitorable quarterly targets. Quantitative slash monitorable quarterly targets. Quantitative slash monitorable, which means quantitative means which we can quantify, which can monitor. Monitorable quarterly targets. Okay, so actually almost it is similar to this only. All these things are there.